there you are. Okay, great.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey,
Good
hey.
morning. Happy Fempreneur Friday, everybody.
Hello,
How's it
hello.
going? How's it going? All right.
It's funny how the camera changes.
Yes. Working on
Ah!
our.
Okay, there we go. Kind of far. Okay.
All right.
Hi, guys.
Yes. So today's topic is self-love, but self-love more specifically in the realm of business. So, yeah. How do we want to open it up, Stacy? How do you
Um,
define self-love in business, or how do you like utilize self-love in business, I guess I should
Practice.
say.
Yeah. You know what? It's what I guess what's on my heart to say is just like it's all in practice. It's all in practice, and that it's so important to feel good. So even as I was listening to, so I know we were talking about books, but just law of attraction, just like how we can feel good, and how not it's not necessarily the thing that's going to take us to the next thing, but that's going to open us up to receive. It's going to open us up to
Yes.
receive the messages that we have, receive the insight, receive the creativity, and all of those things.
Yeah.
So, although we, especially in a, well, now the exalted woman, um, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But now, like, let's just exalt her and just exalting, just like bringing yourself to the surface. That's kind of what exalt her is about. But more like now, not only the self-care of like just like loving on yourself, that is like definitely part of it. Taking time out for yourself. To
Yeah.
make your business better. That's like number one, right? But then
Right.
also like how can we internally like feel great, right?
Exactly. And I
So
guess
those are
so.
the things that
Real quick, just to like
mhm.
reset
Go
the
ahead.
room, as they say. But like just to recap, so like we are. It's Fempreneur Friday, but we're talking specifically.
I don't know if you got stuck or if you guys still see us on here, let me know. It looks like frozen on my end. Always happens with technology. But let's see, maybe she's frozen. If you're on, can you let us know if you can see? Because she may have been frozen. Oh, okay. Yeah, she probably got a little froze up. But hello, 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 everyone that's joining. Just to talk about what we are, just give you an update. Every Friday, we're coming on here and just talking about female entrepreneurship. And today, our topic is female entrepreneurship and self love. Like, how do you incorporate self love in your business? Um, and how can you really like um, oh, I was just giving them a little update since you
Okay, well, that's actually, it's the timing worked out because I was
yeah,
literally like just about to reset, the room.
yeah, like what we're
Um,
doing here every week, talking about female entrepreneurship, and today especially just how do we incorporate self-love into your business, to help it prosper, really.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes. Yes. So I was just going to say that we're like, this is a very fitting topic for us because we both have companies that, are kind of based and grounded like in self-love. And we both have, women-oriented companies grounded and based in self-love to kind of, just like spread this message and spread the awareness of self-love and the importance of it. So I was going to read what my company's kind of like definition of self-love is. And so we say that self-love is the beginning of a lifelong romance. It is choosing yourself first, owning who you are completely and unconditionally. It is living every day as the highest version of yourself, which creates lasting peace.
mhm.
So this is kind of like the basis that we kind of like use for self-love. But I mean, self-love can be described as many things. Like I like to look at it as kind of a journey rather than like a destination, because it's something that you continuously have to learn and relearn again and relearn again. Like it's just a continuous process. And it's like,
Yeah.
I think it's so important in entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship is so much about like keep, just like you get down, you have your lows, but you always have to keep going, and you have to get up and keep going. And each time you have to like get back up, it's like you also have to relearn self-love, but at the same time, like you strengthen yourself in self-love every time you do that. So yeah, that was my point.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. And you know what? And just grounded in even how Stuck says, like having it first, self-love first. But how, I guess, how I help to utilize it, or at least like hone it in so that way I am always using it, is knowing that, you know what, everything that we can serve, it's going to have to come in our overflow, right? Like we
Right.
have to be so filled up that we can like share like who we are, our creativity and everything else out of the overflow of it. Because if we're doing the opposite, like if we're not filled up and we're doing that thing in order to get validation, that's when a lot of pain happens, because that
Exactly.
thing never gives you what you think that it may give you, you know?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so it's really coming from that place first, and, you know, being able to share in your overflow. Yeah.
Right.
Hi, Vicky.
And I
Hello,
was
hello.
actually
I
going
was
to
just saying hello to
reference
everyone.
the book, like one of the best book that I've personally read about self-love is called Love Yourself and Let the Other Person Have It Your Way. And it's on Amazon. It's an amazing book by Lawrence Crane, and it basically talks about how when you love yourself and everything shifts. So it's like it starts with like loving yourself, and then like once you kind of have that under your belt, it's like about expanding that love to everyone else. And it just talks a lot about how self-love is just, it's very internal. It's an internal thing. And it talks a lot about like the internal dialogue that goes along with self-love. So like, every day I try to say, like, you know, in my own mind, like, I love you, Brett. But the book talks about like saying that, you know, along your day, but also like expanding that and spreading that to say, like, you know, like in your mind, if I was interacting with you, you know, I'd be like, I love you, Stacy. Like just sending out that energy, you know, creates space and creates more space of love. But like the starting point and the jumping off from that is always like self-love first, as my shirt says. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that example of actually what you do. And I think that, like that's so helpful, because people are like, what do you actually do to help build self-love? So, what other examples, Brett, that you have that, you know, what do you, that's Ani,
Yeah, my
maybe.
dog
Oh no.
is always barking at this time. um, but yeah,
Um,
well,
yeah, to really
it's
get
not,
you in the
I,
mode of self-love.
yeah, and because I think it's just like so today in this day and age, I shall say, I feel like self-love has almost become a trend as well as spirituality. Like people are just, you know, into, you know, crystals and into like incense and into meditation, but more so like just because they think it's a good thing to do or the right thing to do. But it's like it's such a process and it's such a journey, and you really have to like go within, you know, and navigate your own stuff to kind of really come out the other side on self-love. And I was just thinking about like when we kind of first started our businesses, I feel like self-love was kind of like the initial goal before we really came up with like the full circle picture of our businesses. Because I feel like we were both in a place of not really like loving ourselves fully. And I didn't really like in college, I always had that as my like goal. I remember writing that in my notebook, like, I just want to love myself fully and completely. Like, what would that be like? Like, I wish I could get there, like loving every piece of myself, you know, like loving like what I do, who I am, where I am, my whole self completely, you know? And back then I couldn't think of like how that would be or how that would feel. And it's interesting to kind of be in that space now, but back I couldn't wrap my head around what that would, you know, kind of like feel like or be like. But it was progressive, and I feel like we, you know, through community, through like our friendship, through other people we know, through our businesses, like progressively, you know, built up like self-love within ourselves and then expanded that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, love that. And I totally agree and also go right along with you. I think for me, personally, I had a lot of, I guess, just relationships that had gone really wrong, really sour, gotten somewhat, abusive or toxic in so many different ways.
We're both in toxic relationships, I feel like, at the time we met, so.
Right. And then, you know what? It's really to realize, for me, like, I was the common denominator in all of my relationships that weren't working, or my jobs that weren't working, or everything that wasn't working, or that it wasn't reflecting. So it's just like, okay, what is it about me that's drawing in these things, right? And like, where is it that I'm not right with myself?
Right.
That, that's kind of like being a mirror. So like, our life is our mirror, to the things that we believe about ourselves, the things that we believe that we can have, the things that we believe that we're worthy of. So,
and I wanted to actually real quick read a quote from the book. Like, there are many gems from it, but one is, it says, almost all people mistake ego approval for love, because it is not love, it is not satisfying. Consequently, one continuous need and demands it. Like, you continuously need and demand like that like approval and that validation when you're coming from that place of
lack, really.
Yes,
right. Like, needing validation, and I get you. Like, people like mistake that that constant validation for love. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I think that there's like a fine line between just like ego involvement, like the ego's perception of what love is, which is like, includes like vanity and narcissism and like self obsession, excuse me. And but then when you're coming from like a place of like authentic self-love, and you've like really dug into yourself and like explored shadow work and like journaled it out, meditated it out, cried it out, like that's a bit different than just like kind of having an external understanding of what like love or self-love is, I feel like. And that's where the lines are getting blurred these days a lot, because it's a
I could see that.
It's not a fun journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the only thing, and like the only like sustainable thing that can create like this lasting flow of consistent success. Because like, if you don't love yourself, every time that you fall, every time that you get a no, every time that somebody says something crazy or comes at you sideways, like, you're gonna take it personally. You're gonna like be down in yourself and not have the tools within to pull yourself back up, which is like, that's what I consider self-love. It's like mastering these like tools to help get you back to like a 10, when you're feeling low. But yeah, I feel like
I guess that's what's important to, it's important that we have that system, so that way we know when we're not in alignment, or that when it's not working. Because I guess the transition is, like you said, like, those things, it doesn't necessarily change. Like, for me, rejection still hurts, yes. But it's like, how can I like not take a week to get over that, but now like, in a couple of hours, like, so that's the continuous progression, because we never get to a point where we're just like perfect and nothing hurts us, and like, we're human. But those things help us to pop back into alignment, like also appreciate the other moments so much more. So So yes. Okay,
and I was going to say one last quote.
Yeah, go ahead.
But that's just, seeking love from another person is the biggest waste of your time. And it's just like, it really is, because, you have to be that gravitational pull. You have to love yourself enough to like, magnetize like other people in, and just to like really navigate your life clearly, like what you want to see and who you want to see show up and how you want to show up. Like, it's not outside of you. It's always within you. And it's like, you are the gravitational pull of your life. Everything should rotate and orbit like around you, because like, you should be the sun. Shine brightly, everybody, today. That's my that's my word of the day. But yeah, we're about to hop over to Clubhouse soon. It is 9:45.
And just along to what you said, just think about like, not chasing after something to give you the validation, but being that. And like she said, like, having everything, be the gravity to you, basically magnetizing those things. So excited about continuing this conversation. Yes.
You are the power. You are the magic. Trust yourself. And it's like, if you're stressed about business, I suggest first, and you're nervous and you don't know what to do and you're stuck, I would say like first step is to try to, you know, tap in and hype up that self-love, because that's going to get you where you want to go ultimately.
Yeah.
So
Take a
love
break.
yourself.
Go look
We love
at
you.
the yeah. Go look at the ocean. Take a break. Do something you love, and come
Yes.
back to it. So yes, we love you. Thank you, Brett. And we are going to continue the conversation on Clubhouse. It's going to be live right now. So go ahead and
We'll
hop
see you
on.
next Friday.
We will we will pop the link right over here as well. And we will see you soon. Thank you. See you
Yeah.
next
Bye,
Friday.
everybody.
Bye.